I was driving around looking for Hershey, and I see this dog.
Yeah, we did several times.
I see this dog.
And I've been looking.
Mom, okay. Do you think that you're not gonna see me differently if I get a job? What's so different about me changing my life? I just want to go be with my grandmother.
They're just jealous because you have the life you have.
I can't even.
Live stream bans, freakouts, complaints, and an endless stream of allegations. These are the constants in the chaotic world of Tophiachu. And just when you think things couldn't possibly spiral further, they do. With more bans on the horizon and her grip on reality slipping, we have a lot to unpack. This might just be the worst meltdown we've seen from Tophiachu yet, and that's really saying something. Buckle up because we're diving headfirst into her latest antics. Fair warning though, this one gets a little gross.
You're saying if I just try, my situation could get better? Why can't I try on social? You know what? When I say I want to try on social media, people tell me to get a job when I'm making money on social media. Why can't you just, you act like getting a social media is going to change the way that you perceive me? Be so for real. Do you think that you're not going to see me differently if I get a job? What's so different about me changing my life actually through social media and changing myself and making positive videos and being positive again? What's so fucking different from that than from getting a job? Getting a job is not going to change people's outlook on what they fucking think of me. Let's be so fucking for real. Let's be so fucking for real. Let's call it for what it is. What is going to stop people from harassing me? Because it's not going to work. It's not going to.
The sheer negativity Tophia displays while her mother struggles is mind-blowing. Ever since she started on TikTok, it's been nothing but complaints, mainly about getting a job, while dismissing the very people who work to support themselves. Tophia always has something to say about her family and her viewers, but refuses to acknowledge the real source of her problems, herself. Just a reminder, she's openly admitted that she only ever had one job and has had no intention of getting another because, in her own words, TikTok pays me thousands. That claim is going to quickly fall apart as we continue. Now, let's hear Tophia explain how she's actually a victim and why everyone else is in the wrong, as usual.
Yes, I have been positive. I have been positive. It's people that haven't. You don't go and tell all these people that tell me to go myself. You don't say to them. What about the self kids? What about the person that showed up and stuck sticky notes to my car and started banging on my car while I was asleep? What about getting chased down, right? Because my brother chased him down. But yet, that's not negative? What about the threats that I get constantly? Oh, but that's fucking okay. And especially when someone said that they were gonna dig up my dead sister to a dog. Oh, but that's okay? Everything's okay when everybody else does it. They haven't left me alone for 4 years. And for 4 years, they never left me alone. I just want to be successful. I just want to enjoy life again, and I can't even do that. And every time I cry, people don't give a f***. They don't leave me alone, and it's constantly. I have no purpose anymore. They've been harassing me constantly. They drive by and they honk. They make threats and it's okay. But I'm the one that's supposed to keep positive. I just want to have a house and be happy. And I can't even do that. My father is sick and I can't even help him because nobody wants to help.
Don't let them get to you.
I just want to go be with my grandmother.
They're just jealous because you have the life you have.
I can't even.
To Tophia, any comment that isn't outright praise is an attack on her. At least that's how she perceives it. Like many other livestream lolcows, she gives in to the bait every time, feeding into the very cycle that fuels her downfall. If streaming is genuinely affecting her this negatively, maybe it's time to step away altogether. Of course that won't happen though. She's already admitted she's only doing this for the money. Things take a turn for the unsettling when she starts comparing herself to streamers like Queso. If you thought her reaction to the comments was bad, just wait. What happens next is something I never expected to witness, and I hope we never have to hear anything like it again. I'll let you use your imagination when you hear the sounds.
Remember what your friend told you. The one we just met. Don't let him get you.
Oh man. Uh-oh.
Well, there goes my appetite. Crying until you throw up over livestream comments is a new low. If this is what streaming is doing to her, she should really consider another career path. I thought Tophiachu had it rough being stuck at the men's homeless shelter, but it turns out the entire Tophiachu family is struggling, financially and emotionally. The chat serves as a relentless reminder of her failures, which leads her to set it to subscriber-only mode. Maybe one day, she'll reflect on her choices and realize how her behavior affects those around her. Until then, at least we have Mamachu providing some much-needed comic relief while Tophiachu completely loses it.
Let them get to you. They're a bunch of lowlives. Not all of them. Most of them. Constantly in there minding our business. It's a shame they don't get paid for it.
Darn it. I do not feel good at all.
At this point, I'm convinced the chat enjoys Mamachu's presence more than Tophiachu does. The next clip is proof of that. Instead of giving a simple answer, Tophia takes the opportunity to grill her mother on livestream, completely unfiltered. It's honestly impressive how Mamachu manages to tune out the negativity and accept everything Tophia says as a fact. Whatever was said about her mother must have hit a nerve because she lashes out both at the chat and her own family. And if you hear some strange background noise, don't worry, it's just the auctioneer radio that Tophia seems to use as her white noise.
What did I do to my mother? When you say I don't respect my mom's boundaries, what? Because I tell her to shut the up because she doesn't need to give information? You're a bastard ass, right? And I'm gonna say you're bastard, right? So I'm not gonna listen to anybody that doesn't have a dad and is a bastard that tries to sit here and tell me that I have no rights to tell my mom to not give information that she's not supposed to give, and you're mad because I won't allow her to give information no one needs to know. You could take your credit card and shove it up your ass and get information from there, but you're not getting information from us. And if I don't feel comfortable enough with that she's doing, I don't. She shared a photo of when my room got raided and they threw everything over and people ran with it and said that's how I was living. And I got mad. I said, why the did you show them that? And the only reason she showed them that was to prove we were raided.
Mamachu, while occasionally naive, is her own person and deserves more respect than what Tophiachu gives her. If Tophia is really concerned about her personal details being leaked by her mother, maybe she should stop live streaming altogether, but that would require getting a job, and we already know that's not happening. Of course, Tophia conveniently forgets key details that would prove her wrong. She blames the one person that worked at the motel named Squid, if you remember who that is. And while Squid did have access to some information and photos that Tophia didn't want shared with the public, it's something that she's never gonna let go. Tophia just needs to let it go and move on with her life if she ever hopes to be happier. Now, let's listen in as Tophia rants about what really happened when she moved out of the motel. And this is just her account of it, so be mindful of that.
And it falls on me. That was personal. She should have never shared my room like that. It was thrown over stuff that they threw over because they punched a hole in my wall. Or whatever they did. I don't know what they did. I wasn't there when they raided. There was a big old gigantic hole in my wall. All my stuff was thrown over. My table was thrown over. They didn't need to damage my room like that, especially my table. And then to show that picture to prove that we were raided, it pissed me off because I said, you don't have to do that because now they're gonna say we live like slobs. Sure enough, they started harassing the place we were staying at, telling them that our room was trashed because of that photo from the apartment. So then they tried to run. They didn't even share the photo from the apartment. They just tried to say our room was trashed. Then they came and they had to do inspections. So we had random inspections, and now we were stuck having to have inspections because people made false reports and we couldn't tell them no, or we would have got kicked out from where we were staying. And stuff like that, like with Princess too, especially Princess. My mom went and shared a video of when we were taking care of somebody's dog, and then people tried to say, oh look, she got another dog right after what happened to Hershey, and I didn't even get another dog right away. I was still processing the loss of my dog, and I knew if people found out we was taking care of another dog that wasn't even ours, they were gonna run with this narrative again. And I said, why did you share that video?
Now, we get into the saga of Tophiachu, the dog Tophia supposedly adored. That's her version of events anyway. Before we move forward, let's acknowledge that losing a pet is heartbreaking and it's something that many of us have gone through. What isn't normal, however, is constantly shifting the story about what actually happened. Her inconsistent retelling has left viewers wondering if she is truly honest about Tophiachu's fate. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear how Tophia spins it this time.
She got another dog to replace Hershey. Like, it pisses me off. And then I'm like, you're sharing, you shouldn't. Now she's not gonna share anything anymore, but I said, you shouldn't be sharing any of this stuff. Princess was a dog that we were watching for somebody, and I'm not talking badly about them. They got another dog, and it was a puppy, and they said what happened was that when Hershey ran away, me and my mom got up and was looking for Hershey.
For those unfamiliar with Tophiachu lore, Hershey was Tophiachu's pet dog, who lived in some truly questionable conditions. Viewers repeatedly called animal control, concerned that Hershey was not being properly cared for. According to Tophia, Hershey ran away after being frightened by another dog. However, her efforts to find Hershey were minimal, and the dog remained missing. When I hear her cry about Hershey, I can't help but think about the suffering the animal must have endured. Owning a pet is a responsibility, and it's not one that should be taken lightly. Animals are not novelties.
We already knew that they was going to call animal control because, mind you, when we had Peaches, which wasn't ours, it was someone else's cat, people called animal control saying that we got another pet when we didn't. That wasn't even our cat, and then they tried to say we abused it, and they came and they didn't find nothing. Mind you, the Discord said you to animal control because animal control didn't find any. They were hoping they would take Hershey, and they didn't. The guy said, I'm gonna take photos of your dog, is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, our dog is like aggressive because people keep knocking on the door, and that's why our dog is like that. Our dog didn't attack him. Actually, our dog was kind of sweet.
Anyone who saw the photos of Tophiachu's living space would understand why people felt compelled to contact animal control. Dogs require proper food, clean water, and an enriching environment. I'll let you form your own opinion on this, but it doesn't take much to see why Tophiachu is no longer around. The story is a tragic one, no doubt. I do have my sympathies for it. At the same time, I do acknowledge that she is an adult and she was responsible for that animal and it was in her care. Now, here's the rest of Tophiachu's explanation. One that still many viewers refuse to believe.
That's what fucking pissed me off, man. And you're standing there like, come here, come here. Like, her dog leaped over the bed and then tried to come back to chase my dog again. And I went to pick up my dog, and my dog slipped out of the collar. That's what happened. And we're running out of the door because it's open because the dog busted the door open. My mom's on the floor. You know what? I said, Hershey, and I already knew it. I knew once my dog fled, it was gone. I woke up at like 5 in the morning because I thought I heard her cry. I thought my dog was at the door. I thought she came back because my brother put a bowl of dog food and water out there. So I thought, I woke up because I thought I heard Hershey.
Now, Tophia recounts her time at the motel and what really happened to Tophiachu. The motel staff probably didn't know the full extent of the situation, yet Tophia continues to blame them and everyone else for her misfortunes. She assumes every hardship she faces is the result of malice, but the truth is, no one is wanting to help someone who's constantly disrespecting them, or especially when the case is urgent, because people still have their own issues and Tophia needs to realize that the world doesn't revolve around her problems.
Bad. And it's not fair because they have their dog and I don't have mine. And I tried to get a lawyer. Like, I hired a lawyer and he was like, oh, I'll call you back, and he never called me back. So I gave up because I said, we're not going to get a lawyer to get justice for our dog. Because he's like, do you want to sue the motel too? And I was like, yeah. Because I didn't know it was possible, because when we reported it, the lady in the office, she wasn't really helpful. And then she comes out jamming on her headphones, dancing, and I'm like, my fucking dog is missing. And we were by the freeway too. And I was like, oh, that's even worse. And the lady was just dancing, and I'm like, what the man? And then she asked what we were doing, and then says, what does the dog look like? And I said, we fucking told you. And those people fled. And then I woke up, it was like 5 a.m, or it was like kind of dark outside because I opened the door because I went running because I thought I heard my dog, and it wasn't my dog. And the whole time this was going down, I was on the phone with my friend crying. I was hysterical. I told her my dog is gone. And I was literally talking to 2 people at the time about what happened. And I told them exactly what happened. Only 2 people knew. And the only reason why I didn't come to the internet is because my online friend advised me not to, because she said, for your mental health, because people are going to accuse you. And I said, I already know it. So I kept it to myself. That's why I didn't tell anyone Hershey was missing, because I said, I know if I tell people Hershey's missing, they're going to just say they kidnapped her and they took her. Sure enough, people making fake accounts on Facebook saying they found my dog and that I'm not claiming it, so they're going to keep it, and all this shit. It didn't even help me.
I can understand that what Tophiachu was going through here was a very difficult time in her life, and all of us would have probably reacted the same way, minus the fact that she's still pointing the finger and blaming others for her dog missing. She also knew how it was going to impact her mental health, and she just admitted it, and yet she still did it anyways. So it's really hard to feel bad for someone who contributes actively to their own issue and denies getting any help whatsoever.
I saw a brown dog and I said, it's Hershey. And then my brother came and told me, he was like, I was driving around looking for Hershey, and I see this dog.
Yeah, we did. Several times.
I see this dog.
And I've been looking.
Mom, okay. Stop, I'm talking. So then...
The reaction from the chat regarding the dog was excessive. If Tophiachu treated Hershey anything like how she treats her mother, there's definitely a cause for concern. At least Brother Chu attempted to help find the dog, even if he mistakenly identified another deceased dog as Hershey. You can hear just how upset Tophia is in this next clip, and of course, a special shout out to Mama Chu for providing us with her usual mix of commentary and coughing. She should really get that checked out, by the way. I said it a million times, but she really should. Now that we've covered the Hershey Chu saga and Tophia's complete recent meltdown, let's move on to something even more ridiculous. Her claim that she's on the same level as major streamers like Queso and does just as much as them and therefore shouldn't be put down.
Like, it's always the people that sit on their ass and have no motivation to be anything. Like, it's just so crazy that people will sit here and complain about me making thousands of dollars a month while they literally sit on their ass with nothing. Because you will never be where I am. That's how you feel, right? You could, but you don't apply yourself, so you take it out on other people because you're not applying yourself properly. That's the thing that pisses me off, is not putting the application and not applying yourself to the fullest extent. I just freaking hate that people love to bash on me when there's lots of people that sit on their ass and make money. You ain't saying this stuff to gamers. You ain't saying this stuff to people like Queso and all these gamers. Look, I do gaming, and I don't want to say you're not like them. I can do whatever I want and still be successful. What about you?
Today's video was packed with some of Tophiachu's wildest meltdowns yet. I hope you made it through without losing your lunch. Next time, we'll be diving into Tophia's ongoing ban saga and how she's rapidly losing all her accounts, and with them, her only source of income. Looking forward to seeing you all there, and as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.